Hello everyone, I am Leela Krishna, an IAM engineer from ENH iSecure, and thank you for joining the session. In today's presentation, we will be discussing about Okta integration with Salesforce. Before getting into the topic, we shall have a brief about Okta single sign-on, security assertion markup language protocol, and then move quickly to our use case for today's session. So let us outline our agenda for today's session. And this is our agenda for today's session. We will be going through the introduction of Okta single sign-on and the single sign-on supported protocols, and also understand the working flow of SAML, and also have an overview of the use case of Okta Salesforce integration with a detailed integration flow and the benefits of this integration. So let's get started with the introduction about Okta single sign-on. Okta, a leading cloud-based identity and access management provider that provides customizable solutions to secure and simplify the way people access resources. It was founded in year 2009 by Todd McKinnon and Frederick Kerrest and is headquartered in San Francisco, California. Okta comes with platforms like Workforce Identity Cloud and Customer Identity Cloud called WIC and CIC to secure the resources and identities of the users. Under WIC, Okta offers wide range of products such as single sign-on, adaptive MFA, universal directory. And along with this, it also offers advanced server access, privileged access management, and access gateway, and many more to secure workforce identities and resources. Single sign-on. The single sign-on is built on the concept of federated identity, which means sharing of identity attributes across trusted autonomous system. When a user is trusted by one system, they are automatically granted access to all others that have established a trusted relationship with it. By using the concept of federated identity, Okta single sign-on enables users to securely access multiple applications and services using one set of credentials. That eliminates the need to remember different passwords for each service. So once the user sign into Okta, can launch any entitled web applications and services without having to re-enter the credentials. So Okta integrates with over 7,000 plus applications supporting various protocols such as SAML, SWA, OIDC. And its adaptive authentication policies and multi-factor authentication capabilities ensures robust security to the applications. Okta single sign-on can also be performed on on-premise apps and ensure the same security and simplified access as of cloud applications, as it establishes a secure connection with the user browsers to authenticate and authorize users to the Okta managed apps using single sign-on protocols. So let's look into the protocols that are supported by the Okta. Okta mainly supports four single sign-on protocols, and they are WSFED, SWA, OIDC, and SAML. WSFED stands for Web Service Federation, as it uses request security tokens for authentication and authorization. It helps organizations to share identity information securely between multiple platforms. WSFED uses WS Trust and WS Security to issue and validate security tokens. SWA, Secured Web Access, is a simple browser-based protocol. It can be used on applications that won't support federation. As it uses username and password for secure authentication, it can be used on legacy applications and small-scale deployments. OIDC, called OpenID Connect, is an authentication protocol that enables secure, decentralized, and scalable identity management. It is built on top of OAuth 2.0, adding an identity layer to provide standardized authentication and profile information exchange. It uses JSON Web Tokens for authentication. Security Assertion Markup Language (SAML) is an XML-based framework for communicating user authentication, entitlement, and attribute information between the service provider and identity provider. SAML was introduced to allow secured federation and management of identities across different organizations with different security domains. SAML uses assertions to exchange authentication and authorization data. It provides robust security features by including digital signatures and multi-factor authentication. As Salesforce is available in Okta integration network and can be integrated using SAML protocols. So let us look into the SAML working flow. The security assertion markup language working flow can be achieved by building the trust between service provider and identity provider. Initially, flow begins when a user accesses the service provider, which redirects user to identity provider for secure authentication. The identity provider authenticates user and generates SAML assertion, which is an XML-based document containing user identity and attribute information signed with a digital signature for the security reasons. Later, identity provider shares assertions with the service provider via browser, and those get verified by the service provider to grant access based on the data present in it. After the completion of task, user sends a request for the logout. The session gets logged out from service provider and identity provider because of the trust built in between them. This single sign-on and single logout process eliminates the need for multiple logins and logouts, enhancing the user experience and security of the organization. Throughout the workflow, SAML enables secure exchange of authentication and authorization of data, ensuring a protected access to the resources and a simplifying identity management. Let us have an overview of the use case and know how we are going to use the SAML in our use case. Talking about our use case, an organization has around 10,000 plus users stored in Bamboo HR, Active Directory, and CSV directory, and using manual provisioning are imported to Okta Universal Directory by using different methods. And around 500 plus users of the organization access Salesforce on regular basis. In this use case, we are going to make access easier by implementing Salesforce single sign-on and single logout with Okta. We will be implementing that by integrating Salesforce app from Okta integration network to the Okta tenant, and also configure Salesforce and Okta for the single sign-on and single logout functionalities, and also enable provisioning from Okta to Salesforce to create the accounts automatically, and finally test the integration by assigning the users and groups. This process will enable the users to use their existing credentials to access the Salesforce from Okta end user dashboard or from the Salesforce end. There are few prerequisites to achieve this integration, and they are an Okta tenant with super administrator privileges and a Salesforce tenant with the system administrator privileges, and also a custom domain of the Salesforce tenant. With these prerequisites checked, let's see the integration flow. To implement the use case, the integration process begins by integrating Salesforce from Okta integration network using SAML 2.0. This integration requires the use of custom domain associated with the Salesforce tenant. If an incorrect custom domain is entered, it may result in errors when attempting to access the Salesforce application. So once the custom domain of the Salesforce is configured in Okta, we will proceed to set up Salesforce using the issuer ID, sign-on and sign-out URLs along with the identity certificate generated by the Okta. These elements are crucial for establishing a secure connection between the two platforms. In the Salesforce environment, we will create an identity provider using the data provided by the Okta. Upon creation, Salesforce will generate a specific login and logout URLs that are essential for integration process. By using those URLs, we can finalize the integration of Salesforce within Okta, thereby enabling single sign-on capabilities between the two systems. To facilitate single logout between Okta and Salesforce, we will enable this feature in Okta by uploading the single logout certificate from Salesforce. Additionally, we will incorporate the single logout URL from Okta into the Salesforce tenant settings to ensure seamless single logout functionality. For automated provisioning to be enabled, it is necessary to obtain the consumer key and consumer secret from Salesforce. This can be achieved by creating a connected app with the Salesforce tenant and defining specific OAuth scopes that dictate access permissions. After completing these integrations steps and enabling provisioning, it is imperative to test both single sign-on and single logout functionalities. This is accomplished by assigning the application to the Okta users and attempting to access Salesforce through the end user dashboard. By diligently following these outlined steps, we can successfully implement this use case, ensuring a smooth and efficient integration between Okta and Salesforce. So let us look into the benefits of this integration. Here are some benefits of the Okta Salesforce integration. Okta single sign-on simplifies access to the applications by providing secure authentication and authorization. With SSO configured between Salesforce and Okta, users can access the Salesforce application either from the end user dashboard or directly by launching the application. Okta supports both methods, ensuring that users are authenticated and authorized seamlessly, which enhance the overall user experiences. Additionally, Okta single sign-on simplifies password management by reducing password-related issues. Users no longer have to remember multiple passwords, which decreases likelihood of forgotten passwords or account lockouts. User access and permissions can be effectively managed through real-time attribute synchronization between the applications. This capability allows organizations to maintain up-to-date access controls based on the user roles and responsibilities that reduces the organization's security breaches. Furthermore, automatic provisioning reduces the IT workload associated with manually creating user accounts in applications. By streamlining this process, organizations can improve efficiency and ensure that users onboard quickly and accurately. And this concludes our session. And thanks for hearing out and hope this was informative. Thank you.